straightened out here as we go.
Paul, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm back.
All right.
All right, so if I do this, and then I do there, now I can see.
How big is your monitor, John?
I don't even remember what this one is. This one's like a 20, 22, 23, something like that. I don't know. I've got another one, smaller one. That's right there. I run two.
This is a 15-inch MacBook Pro with a 18-inch second monitor, flat screen.
Gotcha.
It's a ViewSonic. It's a pretty
Mine's
good monitor.
A Dell. I got it when I got my computer. And now my other LCD monitor that used to be really cool just kind of pales in comparison.
I've got 3 monitors directly in front of me, and I've got my secondary computer off to the right, and then the mixer.
Well, you work for the NSA, Paul. I think that's really what it is.
No,
is that
dude,
you work
you got
for
the
NSA.
initials wrong. It's the SAF.
No, I know about that, but I was pretty sure you were
SAF.
working for the NSA.
No. Dude, you haven't heard there's no such agency? Oh, now he freezes up. Oh.
There's no such agency?
Yeah.
Is that what that stands for?
Exactly.
I was not aware. The more you know.
Exactly. We, now Mia's trying to reconnect. This is, anybody watching live, folks, this is how the sausage gets made. Please feel free to comment. And, we will get your airs. You'll get your comments on the air. We'll talk about them. You know, I could, if we have to, go down to just a 2-shot of you and me. I have to create it, but we could. We might end up just doing you and me as a conversation for. Oh crap! I think she's dead. She got blue screen to match my blue wall.
Uh-oh.
Wonderful. I'm going to get busy on this. I'm going to add input. Virtual set. Scroll down 2-shot. Okay. Setup. Background. See how fast I can do this on the fly.
I'm telling you, it's the music.
Box 1 is gonna be. There's Bill.
Back.
All right.
All right.
Now, hopefully we don't lock up again.
It's that Apple stuff, man. You need to get away from that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you do.
I could run PC with 2 buttons on here. I could run Windows 10. As much as I would hate to and degrade my equipment. John, the school I taught at, we had more problems with PCs than anything. When
I
just don't make sense.
totally understand. My wife has also drunk the apple Kool-Aid, so I don't understand the Apple people, but I do understand how loyal you are.
Okay, and we're gonna rename.
Which window do you want me to close?
No, not you. That's to me.
Okay. You got it. Hey, John, while Paul is working, I have a Dillon 650 XL. I got a Redding dual arm.
It's
just for rifle.
You what now? Oh,
I got a Redding reloading.
Cool.
It's manual, but it's a dual arm, so you could basically load 2 rounds at once.
Okay, cool. I don't know what that means. I do now. I get that. I understand. 2 rounds at once. I've never reloaded. I know nothing about presses or dies, or I've heard the words. Don't know what they all mean.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Hey,
I know
it works for
sizing
me.
And
it works for me with the rifle
and
stuff.
Yeah. I know the words, but I couldn't load my own ammo if I had to. Not at this point in my life.
Well, my Dillon has a automated motor for the arm, so I could make 1,000 rounds an hour of pistol ammo and 600 rounds an hour of rifle ammo if I wanted.
Nice. If you could find primers.
Mia's trying to log in one more time. She's logged in. Kinda. Oh. Bill froze up again. All right. All right. I think we're just going to do this. If we don't have them in another couple minutes, I think we're just going to start because...
All right.
Because...
It's your show. I just sit here and look pretty.
Ha! I can't even do that.
You can't sit there?
I can't look pretty.
I don't know.
Well, I know...
I'm not a very good judge of menfolk being pretty or not. I've never found one that tripped my trigger, so...
Yeah. Mia, you're moving. I can see you. Oh, wow. Yeah, the first link is the one you're supposed to be using. Mia, you're right where you should be. So, all right. I think we're just gonna have to start, and when Bill gets here, he gets here. What we're going to do is I'm going to start with John, and then because you've done this before, you know what I expect. I'm going to have you introduce yourself, John, and then Mia, I'll have you introduce yourself. If Bill's back, I'll have him introduce himself, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we're just doing whatever for 60 minutes. So
that works.
All right, I am going to go to our open screen. And recording in 5, 4, 3. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Armed Society podcast. I'm Paul Lathrop. This is a roundtable of personalities from the Self-Defense Radio Network. And it's really unscripted. It's not structured. It's just 60 minutes of whatever we come up with. Going to bring everybody in, and I'm going to go ahead and start with John, and then we'll go to Mia and Bill. But John, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us about your show, a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul. My name's John Anderson. I have the Sandhills Shooter YouTube channel and Facebook page. We do have a weekly, usually, we did skip it last night, But we try to have a weekly live stream podcast. We call it the Get Off My Lawn podcast, where we talk usually about something gun related, but not always. You never know for sure what the topic's going to be. So we try to cover a lot of things that actually are important to us. My smiling face is the one that is on the camera, and my voice is the one that gets heard. But the reason that this works, I do have my beautiful bride in the producer's seat off the camera because she's shy that way. So we actually do this together. It's a lot of fun. And when you come in and watch the Get Off My Lawn podcast live, then if you're taking part in the live chat there on YouTube, you get to interact with us, but predominantly with her. She actually does most of the typing in the live chat, and then I do the talking. So I keep saying we're going to get a t-shirt made that says that. She does the typing, I do the talking, because I say that all the time. I grew up ranching in Nebraska, grew up around guns all my life. So the fact that I have a big mouth and an internet connection, a microphone and a camera, everything just kind of came together, and that's why I have a YouTube channel and a podcast. So I'm also, I did say this last time I was here, I have been elected. The term starts next month. I will be one of the board members for the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association, which is our state-level grassroots gun lobby group. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of work. I'm really have no idea what I'm getting myself into. But if you're in Nebraska and you're not a member of Nebraska Firearms Owners Association, it's free. You should go do that. Go to nebraskafirearms.org. If you're not in Nebraska and you want to be a member, it's free. You should do that. Go join. So go check us out, nebraskafirearms.org. Check out Sandhills Shooter on YouTube and on Facebook. And soon, hopefully, you may even see us on a few other platforms as well. So that's who I am. That's what I do. I'm going to throw this over to Mia. What's up, Mia?
It's good to see you guys. It's kind of a nice ending to a long day. My name is Mia ANSTINE, and I am a guest contributor at Armed Lutheran Radio, where I do, I guess Lloyd says, whatever motivates me. I'm a hunting guide and an outdoor writer, and I'm also an advocate for Second Amendment and hunting rights. So I speak about those things a lot, not just on the podcast, but in my articles and on Capitol Hill and DC and in the Denver Capitol. I live in Colorado.
Okay. I seen one of your videos today about a tent, and I'm telling you, you've got me very close to buying that tent.
I've got another one coming out pretty soon about a bedroll, and since I do guide hunting trips and I've halfway kind of retired from guiding, I spend a lot more time doing my own hunts for myself, which is something that when you're guiding, you live vicariously through other people, but I've been able to take some of my own, and I've been sharing some of the gear with people. A lot of people, they want to go on outdoor adventures and stuff, but they don't really know what they want. So I've been sharing that, as well as some fitness and food. And I'm always willing to share guns. And it seems like YouTube sometimes stifles those, and mainly social media is kind of stifling the gun stuff. But if I intersperse that with the other stuff, it seems to do a lot better.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our third cast member. Bill, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, about Firearms Chat, and all that good stuff, man?
All right, awesome. And by the way, I've seen a bunch of your videos. Good stuff. I am Dr. Bill Chakis. I am a former teacher, high school and college, and a former U.S. Army officer and a former Reserve Deputy Sheriff in the beautiful Boogie Down Bronx in the city of New York. I grew up in a firearms family. My dad was a cop and a Reserve Army Sergeant Major, and his best friend, and his brother-in-law, my uncle, was a New York City police detective and co-owned a gun shop. So I spent a lot of time as a little kid watching everything going on. in the shop. And as far as the podcast goes, I have a great partner, Greg Hutton. He lives just outside of Cincinnati, and he is a California transplant. And we've been doing the show on and off for a little over 7 years. And he recently had open heart surgery, and it's great for him to get out on his back porch and start shooting again. I also do some writing, contributing for a couple of online gun website magazine thingies. And once in a while, I get an article in Combat Handguns. And last but not least, I help run my local preparedness group, Yavapai County Preparedness Teams, which is also a member of Oath Keepers, #1 group in the country. We get an average between our 2 meetings of 600 people a month. And in my offshoot branch, we're doing about 80 or 90 people the last couple of meetings. And that's about it. I mean, I like to reload. I like to shoot. I got 2 brand new shotguns this year. Love to shoot my handguns, revolver, semi-automatic, doesn't matter. I'm part of an adaptive shooter group here in Arizona that shoots down at Ben Avery. And last but not least, my wife and I compete together in the Rimfire Challenge.
Whoa, hang on. That wasn't supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. I gotta fix that before next week. Well, that, and I do want, as you can see on the screen, remember to comment while we are on the air, and we'll discuss your comments live. And that, I guess, leaves me. I'm Paul Lathrop. I am the new Deputy Director of New Media at the Second Amendment Foundation.
Yay!
I am the host, the creator of the Polite Society podcast. I am the, I guess you could say, president, founding member, whatever, of the Self-Defense Radio Network. I'm an extremely lucky guy who had a few ideas go okay. That's me. I get to hang out with some super cool people, and I get to do a super cool job for a living, and that's my main claim to fame. So,
and he's awesome at it.
Well, I don't know about that, but that's the time we got tonight. No, so let's go ahead. We the one thing we've got to talk about this. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Elections last night. We don't know who won the presidency as of this exact moment in time, or we didn't as of 30 minutes ago when I quit watching. Looks like the Senate is going to remain in Republican hands. The House is better, but still going to remain in Democratic hands. My main thoughts coming out of last night is there's some hinky stuff going on in Wyoming, in Pennsylvania, and in Michigan. That's my take from the whole thing.
And Wisconsin too.
Yeah, no, I said Wyoming. I meant Wisconsin. Yeah, there's some shenanigans. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the newbie here, Mia. What do you think about what's gone on in the past 24 hours?
I was about to have a panic attack when you said Wyoming.
Yeah, no. Wyoming has got...
I stuck my head in the sand all day. I went out to the range and shot guns all day so that I wouldn't have to watch all this stuff.
Oh, sure.
And so when you said Wyoming, I was like, oh my God, what did I miss?
No, I meant Wisconsin. Wyoming's got 30 people that live there, and I think 28 of them voted for Trump. We're good.
Yep. My thoughts on it are it's very stressful. I was hoping, I was trying to be optimistic and hope that Trump would win by a landslide and all would be good when I woke up this morning. But it wasn't like the 2016 election where I went to sleep, and I guess I kind of like to just wait for the result rather than stress out about it. But last night I had a hard time sleeping, and then I woke up, and when I logged onto social media, there was nothing about the elections. And I thought maybe this is good because they obviously want Biden since they're pushing him in your face. But then the more I scrolled, I couldn't figure it out. So had to do the research and find that we're in battles in certain states. And I have to agree with you. It's just a bunch of chaos, the things that are happening. And I really personally feel like nothing's going to happen with it, and it'll all be swept under the rug. Nobody's ever held accountable for doing things wrong or throwing a case of ballots into the mix to be counted or making ballots get lost. So I really hoped for better, but it's not nice to see.
Yeah. John, what do you think, man?
Well, those that know me know thinking is not my strong suit. But, here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't think all of it is necessarily. I don't think all of it's necessarily intentional, or intentionally fraudulent anyway. But there's a lot of stuff that even if it's legit, it just looks really, really hokey. But it's happening everywhere. And that is something that, if you've been paying attention, it shouldn't come as a surprise. The only surprising thing is how few states we really are having this in, because it really should be happening in more places with everything that's been going on with all the mail-in votes and everything else. But I do want to call attention to something that happened in my town. This is something that happened in the same church where my wife and I went to vote yesterday morning. A friend of mine posted this, and I will try and radio edit this for us. But you can see the post up on my Facebook page, Sandhill Shooter there. I took a screenshot from his post, left his face and his name out of it because I did it without permission. But it says, get this stuff. Well, I was voting at Mount Olive, which is, like I said, the same church that I walked into to vote in yesterday morning. A couple walks in, give their names. The volunteer says, "Oh, you voted already with mail-in ballot." The couple says, "We have the ballots at home. We just never mailed them in. Can we still vote in person?" The volunteer stares in, "Oh, bleep. We'll cross out your mail-in ballot, and you can vote here." He says, "WTF Chuck, this screams voter fraud. Possibly after they voted, they went and dropped their ballots in the mail." Now, I don't think that the couple, I don't think that they probably had any intention of doing that, and I don't think that anybody in the election commission or in the polling places here had any intention of doing anything wrong. But I think that it just goes to show that mistakes can be made. Mistakes are always made, right? These elections are always presided over by humans, and mistakes get made. But if something like that can happen in my little town here in Nebraska, I mean, what could be compounded in the places where people really do have agendas? I mean, it just, the whole thing is kind of a cluster, if you know what I mean. I think that, again, what I said before, the surprising thing is we've only got a few states right now that are going to turn into battlegrounds and need possible recounts. It's amazing that it's not worse in more places to me. So, but that being said, some of these states, they're hoping by the time we go to bed tonight, they'll have some definitive answers. But even at that, I mean, I don't know. Some networks are calling states. Other networks are saying it's too close to call. It's too soon to call it. So I don't know. Fox News swears that Arizona goes to Biden, but everybody else seems to think that there's still a chance that Arizona goes to Trump. We need to finish getting all the votes in and counted in what is it, Maricopa County?
Right.
Which is the most populous county there in Arizona. And so, I mean, everything just looks like still, it's just a lot of hurry up and wait, and it's frustrating for all of us who just want to know what to prepare for. And I remember going to bed 4 years ago on Election Tuesday, And I had stayed up late and watched a lot of the coverage, but I finally gave it up, and I went to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I looked over at my phone. I thought, what the heck? So I lit up my phone and checked some headlines, and at that point, Hillary had conceded, and Trump was announced the victor. So, I mean, I woke my wife up at 3 a.m. and said, "Hey, Trump won," and she's like, "Oh, cool." And then we both went back to sleep, and slept easy. I don't think that if that's what people are waiting for before they can sleep easy, I don't think that's coming anytime real soon. Even if we get a few of these states that come in and say, these are, the definitive results, the votes are all in and they're all counted. Even at that, some of these states are going to be contested. We're going to need recounts. It's already apparently turning into a lawyer fest in certain places. And I think it gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah, I agree.
My prayer is it gets resolved before January 19th, because this can't still be going on the 20th.
It will be
I would rather see President Biden than President Pelosi.
Oh, I agree with that, but it'll be resolved by December 8th. December 8th is the deadline for states to certify their elections. So we've got at most a month and 4 days. Bill, what do you think?
We're at the point, and Arizona is my adopted home state now, so I was at the point that I knew McStinky was going to lose to Mark Kelly, the Chinese-supported astronaut, but I didn't think we would lose the state, and I really thought they called it too early yesterday, and that indictment is on Fox, that they called it. Their decision desk called it early. So now they're recounting all the votes, and there are 660 some odd thousand votes, about 410 from Maricopa, and about 240 or 50 from Pima County, which is Tucson. And according to Kayleigh McEnany earlier tonight, she said that most of those ballots are Republican ballots, to the tune of about 430,000 of them. So if they all filled out with President Trump at the top, let's just say only 400, Trump's going to get those votes back. The 11 electoral votes for Arizona. Then it's a little bit of a different game. If you can get Georgia, if you can get Pennsylvania, you don't need Nevada at that point, but it'd be nice to get Nevada too. With Nevada, it's Clark County, is Las Vegas, is a lot of hotel workers and restaurant folks. They all seem to congregate towards Hyde and Biden.
Okay.
What else has come? Has anybody heard more about the Sharpie marker? I guess, what do we call it? Sharpie Gate at this point?
I seen one post about it late this afternoon. I have no idea what that's even about.
So, according to, and again, I'm going mostly off hearsay too, because I haven't had time. I was at work all day and haven't had time to do a lot of research. But apparently, a lot of voting precincts handed out Sharpie markers in what are predominantly red counties. I think this was in Arizona. Well, a Sharpie marker disqualifies the ballot.
Oh.
You can't use a magic marker. You have to use a pen or a pencil. I guess, I don't know, but I was handed a ballpoint pen, not a Sharpie marker. But apparently the votes are not going to count, and the people that were given Sharpies are throwing the flag on that one, because if the vote doesn't count when they were handed that Sharpie by the election official, then they should have a chance to recast a ballot, because they didn't know that their ballots were going to be invalidated. And so I don't know what more is coming of that either, or how much truth there is to it, because I don't have any confirmation that it really happened. It's been reported pretty far and wide, so I hope it's true at this point.
Yeah.
Not that I hope it's true. I hope that because of how far and wide it's been reported, I hope that it at least is been substantiated.
That they're caught and that something is worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Something is taken care of with it. Because
Yeah,
this has been going on for a long time.
Those precincts need to be given a chance to vote again, I think.
I want to try to move this away because the election has been talked about ad nauseum. I had to, my assignment was I was given yesterday afternoon was I was to watch returns and I was to write up an article about what's going on in the upper Midwest. And so I was up till midnight, took a nap until 2, was up again until 5, and then took a nap until 7, wrote the story, and then today I've been doing follow-ups on this story. I'm sick to death of the election. So
Copy that.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to kind of move along a little bit to some other topics.
Sure. Sure.
I don't think this happened yet when we recorded the last show, and I know I haven't talked about it with either Bill or John yet, but word came down recently, SHOT Show 2021, gone. I myself, I was not, I have to go if it happens, because there's things there I have to cover. But I wasn't really all that enthused in the age of COVID and going and mingling with 60,000 other people. What I think it was a good move on the NSSS.
70.
70. Well, it doesn't matter.
70,000.
Yeah, it was the last time, what was it, 2016, 2015. One of those two, it was 85,000. But I still wasn't looking forward to going and mingling with many, many, many thousands of people trying to get what I needed to get done. Just whoever wants to answer are you going to miss SHOT Show other than the only thing I'm going to miss is running into my friends.
That's been what I've missed the most this whole year is networking with everybody. I mean, the minute stuff got canceled, I kind of deemed myself as kind of antisocial, like kind of to myself. But you go to those events and that's where you network. That's where I visit with people and I get story ideas. Social media, you've called out for, ideas and stuff, but it's hard to be on there in this environment nowadays. And person to person, you can have a conversation, you can get a feel for what's going on instead of, seeing what rhetoric somebody's spewing on their keyboard on social media. So for me, I'll definitely miss it. I also, at SHOT Show is where I meet with all of my publishers and editors. So I don't even get that much time on the floor to go check out products. I try to make it a point each day to go look at stuff, or when I bump into people, I ask them, what do I need to go see? What was the best thing you saw so that I can go check it out? But that's where I get my content for the year is at SHOT Show. So it's definitely going to be tough to not have it.
One thing
we do the same thing.
Go ahead, Bill.
Sorry, Paul.
You're fine.
We do the same thing, except what we do is we assign 2 days for just going to booths and looking at products, a day to do whatever seminars they will let podcasters in on, and then 2 days or day and a half, because Friday, of interviews. And Paul knows what we did because a couple of years ago he took part in one of our network roundtables that we ran. And Paul, I think he had a good time. We talked about the Canic, and that's borne out to be pretty true. Mm-hmm. Those Turkish pistols. We try to get enough, for most of the year, if not the whole year. And John, have you been to a SHOT Show?
Never been. I'd love to go. We weren't going to make it this year anyway. Maybe one of these years we'll actually be able to get the time off and the travel budget to hit all of this stuff. But we weren't going to go to SHOT Show just because of the timing of it. We actually have a vacation that got pushed back from May of this year.
Right.
That got moved to January. So it wasn't going to happen to do a trip out of the country and a trip to Vegas in the same month anyway. That being said, I mean, maybe next year, maybe we will make it out there. I guess we'll have to see what happens there. I don't really care what the event is, whether it's SHOT or GRPC or NRAM or all of the above. The 2A rally in Washington, Lord willing, that happens in person again next year. I don't care what the event is. I want to go and I want to meet face to face all of the folks that I've been blessed within this 2A community to get to know in the last year. Because even though my exposure, my viewership hasn't really exploded on my YouTube podcast, the people that I've had come on as guests and panelists, and even some of the people that are halfway becoming regulars now are, they're all heavier hitters than I am within the community. So we've just been really blessed to have a lot of names that people recognize on the podcast. I want to meet these folks face to face and get to know them and just it's not the activities throughout the day, whether it's a conference or a trade show, whatever it is. It's the fun time, the fellowship during the day, but after hours, that's what I really, really want to get to somewhere.
I will say this as somebody who's been to many, many, many of these things. Dude, drink a lot of water because it helps with the hangovers.
I'm the guy that's usually drinking one of these even when we go out at night. Well, label out. There we go.
There you go.
That's my drink of choice, no matter where I am, what we're doing. So I'll drive. If we don't Uber, then I can be the driver.
Okay. All right. No, the main thing I'm going to miss about there are two things I'm going to miss about SHOT Show going away, and that is that the what was mentioned, the networking, and I really do miss Media Day at the range. They named it something different a few years ago. Now I think it's called Industry Days at the range, but
right, to
be able to go out and shoot the news stuff is something that I really looked forward to, and I always was. When SHOT Show with again let's just say more than 50,000 people attend SHOT Show. They always say, please take the bus. Please don't go out there and drive out there because there's just so many people and limited parking. I throw that right out the window because if I drive out there, I can show up an hour early and be one of the first few people in line. I can go shoot what I need to, not get flagged by a half dozen people, and get out.
Exactly.
But
Paul knows.
I really, really do enjoy getting together with friends, and the stuff that goes on after SHOT Show is really the most fun that I have when I'm there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
It's exactly what I look forward to.
Yeah. So, well, we've got, I don't know if anybody here, the next thing coming up for everybody to meet in person in March, the Florida Carry people are doing what they're terming a mini GRPC. They've got a camping event, and they've got some heavy hitters coming out to do some speaking and all that. They've asked me to come and MC. That's going to be kind of depend on whether the budget allows it. I am switching. I switched careers, and we got to see what the budget has to say. But that's the next real get together, and I'm hoping this whole COVID stuff allows it come March.
Paul, you didn't shift careers. You just have a sponsor now.
Oh well, I've had sponsors. I had podcast, and everybody here knows this. Podcasting isn't cheap.
No.
The
sure isn't.
the sponsors I had before I came on with the SAF paid for a lot of very expensive equipment, some very expensive software, and bandwidth and all this stuff. I just happen to have a place now where they want me every day instead of once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else do we want to talk about, folks? We've got about 30 minutes left.
You know, since I'm glad we're getting away from the election, I wanted to mention some of the new handguns that won't get to be shown at SHOT Show, but that are coming out. Walther decided to do steel frame guns on the Q series, the Q4 and Q5 match, and I have a Q5 match because I'm outlandish. I have like 14 9mm pistols, so I'm just when I leave one platform, the 45 ACP, and go to another, I just buy guns. And they're also doing different colors for the Walther Creed. So
Really?
check those out, folks. Another great situation. I got myself a Ruger PC carbine.
Nice.
And
what caliber?
I got 9mm.
Okay.
I got the. It's not the collapsible stock, but from what I understand, a couple of companies are making new stocks for it, and there's a thumbhole stock that I'm very interested in from Macmillan. I already put a optic on it, True Glow 2x42. So I'm happy with it. The main thing is that I have a bunch of SR9 mags because that was the first 9mm I bought when I moved here to Arizona. So I have like 12 of them, and I took 3 of them and I did the Taran Tactical Innovations +3. So those
Nice.
are 20s, and then Meatgar in Italy makes 35 round mags, and I have 5 of those. So I'm set for mags with that thing, and the same mags will fit in the PC Charger as well when I pick that up, probably next year.
Okay. I want to get to
So-
a couple of the social media comments have come in. I cannot put them on screen because Facebook is not talking to my broadcast software very well right now. But I would encourage anybody on YouTube, if you're watching, go ahead and comment. I can put those on the air. But Charlie Cook says that he hears that some hand sanitizers got on some ballots and those didn't go through machines. I hadn't heard that one.
Wow.
I hadn't heard that either. That's
yeah.
not. Apparently, it's not a big enough or a prevalent enough problem to make the big news.
Well, and I honestly watched Fox News was on in the background while I was doing my work, just so I had something going in my ears. But most of my news I was getting was raw feeds from states' websites for voter turnout and count levels and all that. So, anything else anybody wants to talk about? Mia, you got anything you want to throw out there?
It's kind of nice to hear about some new guns that are coming out since we won't be there to look at all the new stuff. I'm kind of curious if that'll be a trend in the future, if people are just going to start launching stuff. I mean, it seems like it's been a gradual trend of just not waiting and embargoing stuff until SHOT Show, and they're just releasing it ahead of time. So it is that I do like to
Right.
be able to see stuff before Christmas in January.
Sure. The
Right,
one
right.
the one that I remember the most and it threw up red flags when Remington came out with the R51. It was hush 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 hush. It's coming, but we're going to keep it quiet. And then
Right.
when SHOT Show came around, they bought some displays, but there was none at the Remington booth at Media Day at the range. And that really,
and obviously none to buy.
Right.
Obviously none to buy for about 6 weeks.
And that was one gun. I really like the looks of the R51. I was rooting for that gun. I really wanted that to be a big success because it's a good-looking gun. It's just too bad it didn't go anywhere.
I'm trying to remember. That one was kind of plagued with some mechanical issues, wasn't it?
Yeah, it very much was. It was mainly it was a feeding issue that they never got fixed. But yeah, I don't know. What do you? NRA is what usually 3 to 4 months. They move the time for NRA around every year, but it's usually 3 to 4 months after SHOT. Do you guys think are they going to hold any guns to the spring to release, or are they just gonna cut them loose?
I honestly think
I don't
that
think
if
they'll hold them.
You don't think so?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
not for that. If they're smart though, whatever's coming out, if it's ready to go this time of year, I mean, like Mia said, right before Christmas, right before Black Friday, which I don't know. I'm curious to see Black Friday's NICS checks this year, because every other year that's been the record-setting day, right? It's been the most NICS checks in one day the last several Black Fridays. Now we keep breaking the previous month's record every month with NICS checks. So I don't know how big Black Friday is going to be. The way that guns are selling and the way that ammo is selling, the manufacturers really don't, or the distributors, they don't really have to do much for specials, for sales. Just having stock is going to be a Black Friday special this year. So I don't know what the NICS check situation is going to be. I'm kind of curious, but I mean, this is the right time of year in my mind to be dropping some of these new designs and have them ready to go, have them ready to order, here in the next couple of weeks. Plus, if it's anything hunting related, I mean, the fall hunting season is here. In most states, archery's been going for a while. Centerfire may be going now or about to start. In Nebraska, it's going to start here a week from this Saturday. So I'm getting cranked up for that. I get to take my nephews hunting. They've never been hunting. So I'm looking forward to that. If anybody has any suggestions on taking a 12 and a 14-year-old out for the first time, because I'm not a dad, I don't have kids of my own. I'm just that cool, fun uncle. I'm the funkle.
You're the funkle.
They live in a house with firearms, but no hunters. And they both said that they want to try it. They both got took their hunter safety course this year. And so I'm like, yeah, cool, let's go out. So if anybody has any tips for taking kids and fighting the boredom other than a phone and some headphones.
I could tell you, John, from my experience as the kid, having the dad and the uncle and the older cousins show you the way. So I'll get with you with that offline.
Bill, wasn't that about the time? Wasn't that about the time the Flintstones and the pedal your own car?
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. We used to beat up the animals with sticks.
Well, that's because gunpowder wasn't invented yet. We get it.
Right. No, but all kidding aside, I had the beautiful opportunity several years in a row to go hunting in upstate New York in the Adirondacks. And my uncle, who owned a gun shop and was a police officer, we had family property at a place called Scroon Lake in the Adirondacks. And 1 month, because the bears were using the same tracking, the same stalking as the people, my uncle shot 2 bears in the space of a month with a Ruger 44 carbine and a 4x32X scope.
I would want something a little bit bigger if I'm going for bear myself.
Well, it was deer. It was a deer gun, but he had the carbine and he had the Ruger Red Hawk 7.5-inch 44 Magnum pistol. So he figured if he loaded the rounds hot enough, that should take care of any bear.
It should, yeah. Especially in the Adirondacks. I mean, we're talking black bears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, black isn't the biggest bear around. I not that there's a small. I don't think there's a bear I would want to have to. I don't personally know that I would go bear hunting, and I don't think there's a bear that if I were hunting, I would be real comfortable going up against, even with a 45-70. I mean, give me an artillery piece. We'll talk.
105 howitzer, huh, Paul?
There you go. Exactly.
I would love to. That's on my bucket list of things I'd love to do sometime, is actually go brown bear hunting. It's not going to happen anytime soon, because if it does happen, it's not going to be until I can afford not only to do the hunt, but also to get the full body mount. Because I want Yogi standing up there as soon as people walk in the house. I want him to see a big old grizzly bear just looking at him up on his hind legs.
Are you sure you don't want just a bearskin rug in front of your fireplace so you can lay naked and soak up the warmth of the fire?
Yeah, nobody wants me to be naked. It's fine.
Cuddle with your sweetheart.
I mean, yeah, that would be okay, but no. The only cool bearskin rug is the one that Chuck Norris has in his house. The bear's not even dead; it's just too terrified of him to move.
So now we're going to go with Chuck Norris jokes, huh?
I got a million of them. I don't think everybody wants to hear them.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a fan, but no, not in this format. No. Tell me when we're hooked, we're hanging out at a bar.
Oh heck yeah!
You want to make me laugh?
We could always
make me laugh.
We could always start the bad joke podcast, or the dad joke podcast. Same thing, I think.
That's true. All
right. Well, I will let you guys.
Mia,
decide.
you've never been bear hunting, have you?
I think she's having problems hearing us. Mia, can you hear? Nope, she's not hearing us so much.
I can hear bits and pieces of you guys, and I really want to hear everything you're saying because I know it's a topic that I could chime in on.
Well,
I asked you if you ever went bear hunting.
If I hear parts about bears or something and something like that, and bear hunting is one of my favorite things to do, especially handgun hunting for bears is a favorite. So.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag to the viewers. I'm going to shoot her a text message here, a Facebook message. Please tell us about bear hunting.
There you go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. Everything is kind of delayed and splotchy here, but yes, I have been bear hunting. I've guided bear hunts. Bear hunting is one of the most fun hunts. And I heard John say brown bear. Where we live, we have black bears, and the only brown bear hunt I've been on has been in Russia. It was super fun. Most fun hunt I've ever been. In Russia, an American woman in Russia. I did not tag a bear because I didn't mention that I also teach hunter education. I teach all ages, but in Colorado, it's against the law after, and they asked me on my supply list to bring a light, and I was thinking headlamp, for walking. We carry headlamps. But what I needed to use my technical skills and spotlight a bear with my shoot the bear. So I didn't tag a bear down there.
Wow.
Wow.
But it was still one of the most fun hunts I've ever been on.
I want to do it in Alaska. That's the place. That's if you're going to go bear hunting, that's the place to go.
I do
In
too.
Alaska.
Yes.
Speaking of bears,
we can
has
find
anybody
a
heard?
trip. I'll go.
Has anybody heard about Bruno? I saw a piece on Facebook probably last week now. There's a black bear from somewhere in the Appalachians, I think. I don't remember where he's originally from. He's moving west. And last week, when I read about him, he was somewhere in Missouri. They don't know where he's going, but he's got, I think he's got a tracking collar on. And
I was going to ask, that have some kind of tracker on it.
And they're following him. I mean, they've got, I don't know if it's drones or what, but they've got him on, even on camera. They're keeping up with him. They're advising everybody, that's in his path to, if you see him, just leave him alone and he'll leave you alone. He's not going into populated areas. He's sticking to riverbeds and, to the rural areas, and he's avoiding people the best he can, but he's just moving across country. And they're trying to find out, because they've never seen a bear do this before. They want to know where he's going, he's gotten, or if he made it to where he was going. But yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. I'd never heard of a bear doing that before either.
Well,
that's like sharks. They do that with sharks.
That
They
would be
track
a cool
sharks
story
in the
to follow.
ocean.
See if I can find a link to him.
if they would have named him Yogi, I would guarantee he's going to Jellystone. But
Right? He's looking for a picnic basket.
Hey, Mr. Park Ranger.
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
This was back in July. He was in Missouri in July, so I'm way behind the times. I just found an article from USA Today. He got tranquilized because he cornered himself, and so they tranked him and moved him back to a safe place, and then I don't know where he went from there.
Oh, and he probably woke up and go, I was here 3 months ago. What the heck?
Yeah, right?
This is going to just show my weird side, I guess, but and this happens we're pretty much done with it now, but I drove truck for 20 years, and when I get out to do something like, attach trailer or check brakes or whatever, I would just pop out, leave the driver's side door open, go do what I need to do and get in. Well, obviously I would let flies in. And it might be 200 miles down the road before I open a window or open the door again. I often wondered if a fly got out of the truck, how the hell did I get here?
I like watching the ones that are stuck on the windshield or on the side window when you take off down the highway again, just to see how fast you can go and how long, what speed they finally let go, or how long they'll ride at road speed before they let go. I mean, some of those flies are very resilient.
Mosquito splat.
All right, well...
That's why in the South they all have bug screens on the grills.
Let me ask you guys
It's not just in the
this.
South.
Let me ask you guys this. We are about an hour after we went live, but we're only 49 minutes into the recording. Do you guys want to wrap it up? Do you want to do 10 more minutes?
Keep going.
Okay. So,
Right?
Bill, you told us to keep going. What are we talking about next?
All right. Bringing it back to firearms a little bit, in the training portion, I am very blessed to live near three great, fantastic outdoor ranges. Up here by me, we have Gunsight, and we have the Compass Training Center, and then down in the Phoenix area, we have Ben Avery. But there's another one that I get to go to, and Mia, you may have heard of this one because a lot of hunting guides for Arizona and Utah and New Mexico get trained there. It's called the Northern Arizona Shooting Range, and I became a member about 6 months ago. Now, true, it's about an hour and a half from my house, It's a drive, but 600-yard outdoor range, 400-yard outdoor range, 200-yard shotgun course, and 50-yard pistol ranges, all outdoors. And during the pandemic, at the height in Arizona, they were still going. They just cut their usership back to 50% capacity because our governor, Doug, I don't want to be rude and say it, but Dougie D, our governor, Doug Ducey, tried to shut it down, and they were able to get a lawyer to go to court and say, it's an essential service. People have to be trained to use their firearms. So it stayed in operation. And I went to a match there really to do an interview for my podcast, Firearms Chat, and I wasn't there to shoot, and they wound up, even though I'm in a wheelchair, they wound up letting me shoot. And we had a really good time. It was an IPSC match, and I hadn't done IPSC in about 5 years. So that was the first time I did that seated. So Northern Arizona Shooting Range in Winona, Arizona, if you're along the I-40 corridor, to use a trucking term for Paul there, check it out. It's a good range.
Yeah. Kevin Sona just checked in, said, hello, Patriots, on YouTube.
Saw that.
Yeah, so, hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Speaking of long-range shooting, I got to go out and give my AR a workout recently. And
nice.
There was a target that we had set up at 450 yards. And I don't have this super duper hot scope that's got awesome magnification. I've got a red dot, and I've got a very inexpensive one. How inexpensive? Inexpensive enough it was given to me. And
there you go.
That's the best price you can get right there. And
yeah, absolutely.
I was able to 6 shots out of 8. I was able to ring steel at 450 yards off a red dot.
Nice.
With a 2.5 minute of angle.
Nice.
That was 5.56.
Yeah, 5.56.
Oh, nice. Very good. Very good.
I got to shoot long range for the first time a couple weekends ago. I don't know. It was after I was on the Arm Society podcast last time. So every year in Lexington, Nebraska, which is about halfway across the state on I-80, there's actually a very, very, very nice range just southeast of there. It's about 10 miles worth of winding back and forth on the roads just on the south side of the Platte River. It's called the Rob Jeffrey Memorial Range. And you can find info for it at 1000plusllc.com, I think it is, or 1000plus.com. On Facebook, it's 1000plusllc. But anyway, they have a machine gun shoot every year. And this year, they haven't been able to do silhouette shoots, steel challenge all year. And so they combined the two into one day and did a machine gun shoot in the morning, a steel challenge in the afternoon. And the range actually has, depending on where you go and where you set up and what's going on, I think you can shoot out to 2,000 or farther on at that range. They've got that much ground. But I got to shoot the 1,000-yard gong, and a friend of my YouTube channel, Stan from SS Pawn there in Lexington, had his long-range rifle out there, and I can't tell you what it is. It's all custom, I know that much, but it's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. And he's like, "Do you want to shoot it?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." So,
of course.
Right? I mean, and he already had it. Dialed in and had his dope already dialed into his scope. So all I had to do was my part, and I've never taken a shot at 400 yards before, let alone 1,000. And so I thought I did pretty well. I think about half of my shots hit steel at 1,000, and they were telling me where to hold, and we didn't adjust the scope, but we did just use a little Kentucky windage to help get me on target there, and thought that was kind of cool. Got to shoot full auto for the first time. Got to shoot a 50 BMG for the first time, and so did a lot of fun stuff. I've got.
Did that make you want to? Did that make you want to bring home a Barrett M82?
Well, the Barrett M82 that I shot belongs to my brother-in-law, and so it's not mine. But
excuse me.
I mean, it's kind of like it's in the family. He brought a few toys out. He brought the M82. He brought his I can never think of the name of it. Gilboa rifle, basically the twin AR. They're hooked together and they share a stock. Yes. Everything else is independent. I didn't shoot that. He also has a Tipman 9mm Gatling gun that he brought with him. Nice. But he customized his. He didn't like he didn't like the pneumatic tires. They didn't look right on a Gatling gun, so he actually stripped down the wood for the carriage of it and refinished it in a nice oak finish and built wooden wheels to go on it. I mean, it looks really cool. There's I don't remember now if I posted pictures of that one up on my Facebook page.
That would be fun.
I've got all these videos that I've shot and pictures and videos that I've shot that I need to get them all edited into a video and get it posted up so people can kind of see some of the stuff that happened out there. It was a lot of fun. I got to shoot the gun that won the West. I shot the Winchester 73, chambered in 45 Colt, but still, it still counts. What else did I shoot that day? I got to shoot an actual full auto Thompson, so that was
nice.
Cool. That and the M82 were the highlights of my day. Good times.
Mia, you are of us. I'm thinking you are the one that has the most experience with long distance shooting. What's your go-to gun for a long distance target shoot?
So I enjoy long distance shooting, but just for pleasure. I mean, just for fun. And I have a lot of guns that could shoot really accurate at long distance. But I would never say that I'm a competitor or anything like that. But just listening to John talk about the long range shooting, I was in Raton 2 weeks ago for Lucid Optics. They have red dots and different scopes. But I was with at Whittington. We tech right, and I hadn't shot one. We were shooting 270 Winchesters, 308s, and 6.5 Creedmoors. So on my tour, we can get up to 900 yards with our rifles.
Nice. My longest range rifle is a Savage VA-110 FCS in 300 Win Mag. But I have a friend that's got a 338 Lapua, and you want to talk about long range. We have a spot about 20 minutes south of where I live on the other side of the mountain range. It backs up to 1,024 yards. But talk about machine gun shoots and long range. Well, I'm right near the Big Sandy. I'm an hour away from the Big Sandy. Mm-hmm. And they do it this year, but I've been 3 of the last 4 years. And, you know, I actually got together with a couple of guys, and we had 2 tables put together. And I don't know, I think, Mia, you've been there, haven't you? But it's amazing, the guns and the people. They had flying drones that you could shoot at that were flying slow, balloons, zeppelins. I got to shoot my uncle. I inherited from him a BAR, which was modified to semi-auto only, unfortunately, but very, very good trigger and 20 or 30 round mags. But I got to fire somebody's full auto one there. As far as ARs, I don't have any AR-15s. I have AR-10s, and I have Ruger Mini 14s, Mini 14, and I have two M14s, Springfield National Match, and I have the James River Armory. And with the Springfield, I made a 606-yard shot with the wind at my back.
Nice.
And that's my favorites. Two scopes are, well, three. The Leatherwood ART, which is on the low end, but on the higher end, the Nikon M308 and the Burris MTAC are very good scopes.
We are now...
For the price.
I said we had 10 minutes left to go. We're now well over that. Could you tell people again who may have joined us in the middle who you are and where they can find your stuff?
You bet. So my name is Mia ANSTINE, and I'm an outdoor writer, a hunting guide, a Second Amendment advocate, and contribute Armed Lutheran Radio, and so much more, but that's a little summary. You can find me on social media. Just look up Mia ANSTINE, or on my website, miaanstine.com.
All right. John, you're up next, man. Tell us about Get Off My Lawn.
Absolutely. So on the Sandhill Shooter channel on YouTube, every Tuesday night at 9 Central, we have the Get Off My Lawn podcast. It's usually gun or 2A related. It's not always. There are other things in my life that are important to me, and so since it's my show, we talk about what I say we're going to talk about every week.
That's it.
And it's not just a gun channel. It's a lot of things. I'm a self-proclaimed grumpy old man, and we're way overdue for a grumpy old man chat. So I think that's coming up soon, where we just get and here's what happens. I've got about 30 people that get a link, and only 5 people can be on screen with me with the software that I use to host. And so whoever gets in first gets in. And it's kind of fun because even I never know from week to week who's always going to be on there with me. And when we do a grumpy old man chat, women are always welcome as well. And we just kind of talk about the things that are bugging us, and you know, the things that if they would just listen to us, we'd have the world fixed after, I think, one podcast. And so, like I said, we're well overdue for another one of those this next week, since it is the last Tuesday before opening day of rifle season for deer here in Nebraska. I think it's going to be a hunting chat. It's also the day before Veterans Day, so we're also going to at least give a salute to the men, women who wear the uniform and represent the red, white, and blue as well, because we appreciate everything that all of you folks who have worn or still do wear the uniform have done for us. We know that no matter who actually wins this presidential election, we're still the best country in the world, and it's namely due to folks just like you out there. So thank you all for that. You can also find me on my Facebook page, Sandhill Shooter, as well. Those are the two places that I am for now. Predominantly, I'm working on getting all the audio portions of the podcast up on Anchor, and then from the Anchor page, you can also find the other platforms that have the podcast as well. Anchor and Spotify are the big ones right now anyway, so you can go catch those as well. If video's not your thing, or you don't have the YouTube account like I do, where you can play stuff without in the background without being on the screen, then the podcast is a nice option. So trying to get all the back episodes up in order before I put the newest ones out there. So if you want the new stuff, go to YouTube. If you want to start from the beginning, from episode 1 of the Get Off My Lawn podcast, then I think I got the first 10 or 11 up there now.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Dr. Bill.
Okay. Okay.
Who are you? Where's your stuff?
Okay. Firearms Chat podcast. You can find me on Facebook at the Firearms Chat Facebook page. Sometimes my stuff gets over to SDRN. I got to make that more often. We also have a blog website, which lately just gets the audio posted, firearmschatpodcast.com. I also write for a couple of internet gun magazines, and I have contributed to some print stuff in the past. I run a preparedness group here in Yavapai County, Arizona, not far from as I said, not far from Gunsight. And I compete in the Rimfire Challenge and adaptive shooting events. And that's about it. What did I forget from before? Paul, quick. You don't remember. All right, not important. Next time.
All right.
But I'm out there.
Well, that leaves me. I'm Paul Lathrop. I am the host of the Polite Society podcast, president of the Self-Defense Radio Network. I am the newest employee and deputy director of new media at the Second Amendment Foundation.
Yay!
You can find my stuff at politesocietypodcast.com, at selfdefenseradio.net, and now daily, Monday through Friday, up at thegunmag.com. I am going to go ahead and shut this down because we're almost an hour and 7 minutes into a 1-hour show. Thank you for watching. Those of you who listen, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.